Someone to call my own. Man, I make now I found someone to sit on my throne. Oh, my friend, no him, man, no friend, me, him, I don't be me to be honest, you. Boy, yeah, me mau be janka me yet, yeah. Engo si se po beda santi me mudie. But to my shame, me no alibi. When them near send me, I know. When them near send me, I know. When them near send me, I know. Me baby, I say, me better don't cry, me better don't cry. It's you, me more, me know, me baby, I say, me better don't cry, me better don't cry. But don't you worry, don't see no. Me baby, I say.
ỌDADEƐ Radio. Like us on Facebook at ỌDADEƐ Radio. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ỌDADEƐ Radio. You can WhatsApp or call us on 00092925.
And it's a very good morning to you wherever you tune in this morning. This is ỌDADEƐ Radio. We are live via the Zeno FM radio app. You can as well download ỌDADEƐ Radio app and get to listen to ỌDADEƐ Radio 24/7 wherever you find yourselves. On WhatsApp, you can reach us on 02000922925. We stream live on Facebook at ỌDADEƐ Radio and ỌDADEƐ Radio Ghana, on YouTube, ỌDADEƐ Radio. On Instagram and on Twitter is at ỌDADEƐ Radio, same on TikTok. This is the midweek edition of The Breeze. On behalf of the production team, I welcome you to yet another edition this morning. My name is Joseph Oti. You can as well refer to me as DJ Use. Glad to be here with you. So this morning we are very fortunate to be joined by our sisters from Aburi Girls, Old Girls Association. I'm talking about Aburi Girls, Old Girls Association. And we are going to have a convo about their upcoming National Dialogue Series. It's an only right for us to support our sisters. And that's what we are about to do this morning. Going to shine the light on the upcoming event. All we need to know, all we need to prepare and join them in this very, very inaugural dialogue series coming up. So I have in the studio seated Professor Koyo Enim Wright, who is the global president of Aoga. And with her is Grace Ofosu Donko. She's the communications director of Aoga, joining us this morning to throw a bit more light in this inaugural National Dialogue Series that is coming up. All we need to know. If you have any questions or comments, you can join us 02000 92925. So it is my singular honor to welcome Professor Koyo Enim Wright to our studios, as well as Madam Grace Ofosu Donko. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to ỌDADEƐ Radio Studios.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good. And
thank you.
Well, thank you as well for joining us. Well, it is such a delight to have you join us this morning to talk about your upcoming National Dialogue Series. But before then, Prof, ỌDADEƐ Radio and the whole ỌDADEƐ fraternity want to congratulate you for your leadership and all the strides you are putting into get Aoga to where it is right now.
Oh, we're very grateful. You know, we are trying to follow some of our brothers.
Exactly. And you are doing good.
Thank
and,
you.
We are so delighted to see you do all the good things that is happening.
Thank you. And your support is always very important. So we thank you for always being there with us.
Thank you too as well. And also we want to bid condolences to your fraternity on the passing of your headmistress in Europe. May God grant her eternal rest.
Amen.
How are you taking this?
Well, I think it's been a surprise and a shock for all the old girls and also the students in the school. So we're doing the best that we can, supporting each other and just rallying around each other, trying to also support the school in this initiative. She'll be buried at the end of this month, and we hope we're able to give her a fitting burial.
Wow. Okay. And briefly, before we go into the meat of the matter, how is the new enrollment going?
Well, you know, as of placements,
stressful, I guess.
Placements are the one thing that give us all headaches. I think my hair is falling out, but you know, hopefully next year will be better.
Okay. But I hope it's all going well.
Yes, it's
all right. So let's talk about the upcoming event. Why Aoga National Dialogue Series?
We wanted to engage everyone in an initiative that was meaningful and that honored the fact that we're from a girls' institution. And so in thinking about it, the SDG goals came to mind. And so we decided to embrace the number 5, which is gender and equity. And around that discussion of gender and equity, we wanted to hone in on an issue that was not just national, but global in nature. And the underrepresentation of women in leadership and governance and politics actually is one of the hiccups, I think, when we talk about women issues or gender issues. And that's why we decided to have this first lecture focused on that.
Okay, so under what theme are we looking at this very inaugural dialogue?
That is the topic. So it is the it's the underrepresentation of women in leadership and governance in Ghana.
Okay. Why this topic? If Grace can possibly help us too.
So I think, like she earlier stated, It's just to bring out the fact that women are not enough or
Are not highly represented. Okay.
on these platforms, and so we want to bring attention onto it, and also seek other old students and fraternities to join us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what consideration went into this choice of topic for this year, Prof?
Well, the statistics according to the United Nations is that globally, 22% of women make up leadership and governance positions.
Mm-hmm.
And in Ghana, those percentages are even lower. And according to the SDG goals, we are hoping to get to 30%.
Okay.
So in Ghana, in 2012, I think, the number was 13%. Oh, no, 11%, representing, I think, 29 people in parliament. In 2016, I think the percentage rose to 13%. And in 2020, it rose to 40 people, representing 14.5%. So as we can see, we are far, far away from the 30% that the SGD goals are asking for. So we believe that this is an issue and an environment that we can make a difference and an impact, and that's why we settled on this.
Okay. I'm sure that your speakers and the panelists are all females.
Yeah.
Can you run us through who will be part of this panelists?
We have Honorable Katrina Afiku
Okay.
speaking. We have Ambassador Ekia Senadanswa. She's a former ambassador to Germany and former MP and DCE. And then we have Professor Nanaba Apiamfo, the Vice Chancellor of University of Ghana. We have Honorable Lubushi Saikofi. She's the Presidential Advisor on Media and Strategic Communication. And then we have Madame Bridget Jogbenuku, the 2020 PPP Presidential Candidate. And then we have Ambassador Swanika, Founder and President of the Heritage and Cultural Society of Africa.
Oh, okay.
And then we have the Chief of Staff being our chairperson.
Oh,
so
okay.
she will be there as well.
She'll be
And
there.
then Prof will be moderating.
Okay. So probably our moderator of the day.
Yes.
We'll be there to support as well.
Thank you.
And give the light to make sure that people will follow and stream all the events and ensure that it will reach thousands and thousands of people.
Great.
So, in what format is this dialogue going to take?
Well, it's going to take it's a dialogue, so it's going to be a conversation. So
okay.
all the panelists will be on stage, and we will have series of questions that we'll ask them and elicit some personal experiences as well as advice from them in terms of how to manage and tackle this issue.
Okay.
So we're not going to have a plenary session where people speaking at the mic for X number of minutes, 15, 20 minutes. No, we want it to be really a dialogue and a conversation. And we invite all those who are present to also engage with us, because we'll be happy to take questions throughout so that it's meaningful and it achieves the goal that we hope it will.
Okay. So who can attend this event? Is it still by invitation?
It is not. It's actually open to old girls and old boys from all schools. It's also open to those who are interested in supporting this initiative, and we know that men are very supportive of gender issues, and we hope that those who are interested in seeing the percentage increase tremendously from the 14.5% that we currently have will be there to help us learn how to actually institute processes and procedures to increase that percentage exponentially.
Great. So where are we having this event and what date?
It's
And
on
time?
Thursday. On Thursday.
This
4th.
coming Thursday?
Yes, 14th
Okay.
of November at 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
And it's at UPSA, the East Wing.
That's
The
at the UPSA
UPSA
auditorium.
Auditorium.
Yes.
Okay, the UPS auditorium.
It's one of the rooms in the auditorium, so people should be mindful of the signs as they come
Okay.
in, and they will be
Okay.
directed.
So it's not going to be the
accordingly.
main auditorium.
No,
but
that
the left
seats
wing.
that seats 3,500 people.
That's big.
So we are being very conservative in terms of expectation. Yeah.
Okay. But what should attendees coming to this event expect?
Well, they will expect to hopefully get insights into what is preventing those percentages from moving forward. There are lots of challenges that women face when they want to go into leadership positions. whether it's lack of funding, whether it's lack of support, whether it's lack of whatever the issue is.
Okay.
I think what we want to do during the discussion is also touch on all those things that potentially serve as handicaps and see what we can recommend in terms of breaking free those handicaps.
Okay. And that's great. So, well, if you're an old boy, if you're an old girl from all schools, it's open to the general public. It's going to happen on the 14th at the East Wing of the UPSA auditorium. You have to be there to come support and also put your thoughts through. Prof, let me ask, what would be your expectations in terms of after the event and what happens after the dialogue? I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of recommendations and discussions on gender issues and all that.
So one of the reasons we were pushing to hold it now was because we wanted this conversation and the outcome of it to be something that would inform the incoming government in terms of how they would identify people in leadership positions. So our hope is that we can issue a position paper that talks about what happened during the proceedings and formally make a presentation to whoever wins the December 7th elections and hope that the findings will be part of their considerations when they're making appointments.
So, okay. Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah,
At this point?
yes. This document that we hope to have, it may or may not make a difference, but we hope that it will. And then it goes a long way to help us, to help women especially.
I'm sure that a lot might have gone into inspiring you to put up this event, which is the first of its kind, from Aoga. Can you tell us what inspired this dialogue?
You know, we are all from old girls or from secondary schools that are primarily female.
Okay.
And there are so many wonderful individuals that we meet on the journey who are extremely qualified. But when you look out there in terms of representation, you realize that the numbers just don't reflect the caliber of women that you know that exist.
Okay.
And so this is a concern for all old girls, not just Aburi girls, but I'm sure all the other girls' institutions that there are so many capable women in there when you look around, and that we have to be able to create an avenue to give them a choice, a chance for their voices to be heard and for them to make an impact into the national growth and development of Ghana.
Okay. Are we having any support, sponsorships in terms of pushing this dialogue through?
We haven't really made any active steps. If anyone wants to support, they're happy to. We started with a mindset of this is going to be done no matter what.
Okay.
And so we didn't want to be thinking and being dependent on funding to be able to make it happen. So our executives and some of the old girls have pledged some support.
Okay.
And we're hoping, well, not hoping, we're confident that that's going to be enough and we are going to be able to push this through. But if anybody wants to support, we'll be more than happy to, because we like to live stream it and we're still working on some of those details. So some support on that end would be helpful.
Okay. That's great. Let's go back again and then talk about the date, the time, the people coming. Maybe communications can help us to run this through.
Okay, so
just in case we need to go through again.
Okay, so the date is Thursday, 14th of November, and it's at 4 p.m. at the UPSA auditorium.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll put signs there to help people where to
guide
park and then where the thing is taking place. And then with the speakers, we spoke about Honorable Catherine Afeku. She's a Minister of State and at the Office of the President. And then we have Ambassador Ekuya Senadanswa, former ambassador to Germany, and Professor Nanaba Apia Amfo, Vice Chancellor, University of Ghana. We have Honorable Oboshisai Kofi, Presidential Advisor on Media and Strategic Communication. Okay. We have Madame Bridget Jogbenupu, 2020 PPP Presidential Candidate, and then Ambassador Swanika, Founder and President of the Heritage and Cultural Society of Africa. Okay. We have the Chief of Staff, who is the chairperson, and then Professor Wright will be moderating.
Wow. Very, very esteemed and distinguished panelists you have.
Yes.
Okay. So everything is set, and we are waiting the D-Day to come.
Yes.
Okay. Any message to Aoga members at this point? Maybe Prof.
We're inviting all of them, as many as can be available should come.
I'm sure they should be
then-
seated before 4 p.m.
Yes, it's
Because-
starting at 4 p.m. prompt. So
Okay.
they should be seated by then. And then other old girls as well from other schools, Wesley Girls, Holy Child, Accra Girls, any of the girls' schools, and the boys' schools as well.
Okay.
PESEC has the high table. So
Wow. Always. But we just cited the Aoga newsletter, which is very impressive, professionally produced newsletter. I mean, we are very excited to have seen that. Prof, kudos for that.
Oh wow, the Grace is actually the brainchild behind
Oh,
this, so
okay,
she's
okay.
doing great with
Grace.
that. Yeah.
Nice work there.
you.
Nice work there. So we are wrapping up. Any message, anything you want to add before you take leave of us?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier how those of us who went to girls' schools, we look around and we see the caliber of people that we don't see that reflected. I think more importantly, as a new generation goes through the high schools, it is important for them to actually be able to see those role models and understand that nothing is blocked for them. And so I'm hoping that as we keep doing this on an annual basis, we'll be able to effect some change where the students in the high schools will be able to look up and see females represented in every place, not necessarily in a way that's public, so that they can realize that they can aspire to be anyone they want to be.
Okay, that's great. Any word from communications?
We'll just be happy to see everyone there to come and partake in this and for all of us to make history together.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just on a lighter note, are we having end of year dinner this year?
Oh,
We are pitching towards December.
Really, I think we'll take that under advisement. We're taking sponsorships for that.
Okay. All right, Prof, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And we wish you all the best.
Thank you
And
so
like I did
much.
say, we'll be there to support
Thank
Okay.
you.
and ensure that we let this reach the world.
Excellent.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
very
much.
Thank you very much.
So that's a brief conversation on the breeze this morning. Aburi Girls, Old Girls Association proudly present the inaugural National Dialogue Series on the topic and the representation of women in leadership and governance in Ghana. It will take place on Thursday, 14 November 2024 at the East Wing UPS Auditorium from 4 p.m. Please, you are invited to join us in this inaugural National Dialogue Series.
Vicky on it.
ỌDADEƐ Radio. Like us on Facebook at ỌDADEƐ Radio. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ỌDADEƐ Radio. You can WhatsApp or call us on 0200 092925. ỌDADEƐ Radio. Like us on Facebook at ỌDADEƐ Radio. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ỌDADEƐ Radio. You can WhatsApp or call us on 0200 092925. ỌDADEƐ Radio. Like us on Facebook at ỌDADEƐ Radio. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ỌDADEƐ Radio. You can WhatsApp or call us on 0200 092925.